Hey Spuddies, Potatomcwhiskey here, and welcome to Let's Play Civilization 6 as Victoria of England. So I went through and I modified the UI once again, and it should be now at a very nice size for you guys who are watching on mobile. I hope you guys appreciate this change, although probably a lot of you guys are just really listening. But yeah, we went through and we made some edits. We changed a couple of things here or there, and things should be looking very nice from the viewer perspective. I am still keeping, just for this last episode, are you guys still unhappy with this on this slightly enlarged UI? What I really want to know is, people on mobile in particular, do you like this UI? Here, or would you rather I went back to the card-based UI that's a little bit easier to see? If a lot of the people on mobile let me know, I will switch that back for the next series. So just, you know, again, we're kind of in the process of just updating and changing how we do things a little bit to account for the new screen. So there's always going to be a little bit of fiddling around, clicking on things, all that sort of jazz. Right. So there is the Mars colony launched, which is excellent. That's +4 era score. We're going to work on converting to a nuclear power plant, which is great. I'm really not sure what to do with this builder over here. I think he might have enough charges to be inserted into the project. We'll have a look. Okay, industrial zone logistics are completing. My empire is pretty well built up. We're making 1,000 science per turn, which should make getting to the very, very late game fairly trivial. Although we are taking a science penalty because currently the game's era is only the modern era, although that's about to change. We're now in the atomic era, so we're taking slightly smaller penalty to our science output for, or the tech cost of these things. There's globalization. We could put in the production from all trade routes, and I think I will go ahead and put that in. The question is, what do I get rid of? I think we want to get rid of public works now. We're in a very, very late game situation where extra builder charges is not so useful, but this extra production and gold from trade routes will be more useful. In particular because they're concentrated over here in London. We're up to 225 production here, and 100 of that, almost half of our production, is coming from trade routes. Let's make sure we organize here by production. We're getting +10 from this, and we have a dedication also. We are in a golden age, and I think the bodyguard of lies, 2 arms, and sky and stars are reasonable. Are reasonable choices here. So we need to figure out where the tech is to launch the extraterrestrial laser or whatever it is. I think we'll put a solar farm there. We are going to create another great work, and then we'll go to the next turn. These turns should run by pretty quick now at this point. We're basically in the super duper late / end game here. It's going to take a little bit of getting used to, though, playing on this. We could make some giant death robots if we wanted to. And this unlocked seasteads. Let's grab nuclear fusion. I definitely do want seasteads. Nuclear power conversion has been completed. Now, I'm really curious, does the bonus carry over? And indeed it does, because normally the nuclear power plant would provide you with... I messed up there. Nuclear... Normally it would provide you with +4 production and +3 science, but because we got that great engineer, it's giving +8 and +3. That's really, really great. That's a bunch of extra science throughout our empire. Over here, I don't really know what else we want to do. I think we've basically completed everything we need, so we're going to queue up some campus research projects just to get that little bit of extra science here in the late game and try and speed our way towards the end of the game. Now, I'm curious... I'm just going to delete this builder for now. It's fine. It's fine. We have another art museum available. We completed the stock exchange over here. Let's go ahead and grab the theater square right there. Do I want to harvest this and put in a bunch of farms here? I kind of like that idea. I'll need a couple of builders to do it. Keep stealing gold for me next turn. Looks like some rock band shenanigans are going on. Now we are ahead of everyone else, although Korea is doing pretty well here on that front. Nuclear fusion, but I'm pretty sure that I make a lot more science than her. Yeah, I'm making almost triple her science right now, which is great. Okay, seasteads. And there it is, Exoplanet Expedition. We found it over here in this piece of the tech tree. We're going to go ahead and pick that up. Art Museum. Broadcast Center. I'm going to teleport you over to Nottingham. In Nottingham, we are going to work on projects. We're going to queue up campus research grants to get even more science out of our cities. Then you are going to come over here and we're going to purchase a second builder because we only have 3 charges on our builders now. We need this exoplanet expedition thing. Would be good to make sure that we buy a builder every turn in Newcastle and send it to London. Harvest. Farm. Not that this over here really matters, other than just like adding a little bit of flavor to my empire. Little farm triangle of +5 food, 15 food total. That'll help support this city. Yeah, it's more for fun than anything else, really, to be totally honest. I'm curious. Okay, there's the future area. I'm curious if anyone is actually doing. It's time to get rid of that. We're going to launch Exoplanet Expedition. Immediately insert a builder into it. Purchase another builder. And yep, there we go. Choose tech over here. So now we want to get up into these ends of the tech tree. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up seasteads. And I will recruit that. We got the research lab over here. I think because we're so late in the game, we're just going to do campus research projects to try and eke out every little last bit of science we can. And I'm just going to delete this admiral because he's not very particularly useful. Keep making those great works and then move on to the next turn. So we're definitely in the home stretch portion of the gameplay, where we want to just get right into the end game. And really we just got to launch our Exoplanet Expedition and then get it to where it's going, Alpha Centauri. Crowd on the boardwalk. I'm curious, like, they can speed it up to a very high velocity, but I'm really curious how they slow that thing down. Stock exchange. Yes, I will grab the stock exchange in here. In here, I'm just going to queue up harbor shipping to keep the city from prompting me for updates. Move you over here, insert you into the building, purchase another builder. That was a trader I purchased. Oops. Make a farm. Now there's lots of food here. Create this. Unit needs orders. Keep stealing gold. Next turn. Excellent. This is all part of it. Like so everything we've been doing up to this point, it's all been building towards this moment where we launch the Exoplanet Expedition and just make our way through the to the final portion of the tech tree.
Distracted from distraction.
Not really any point to assign any more governor titles. I think we're just super late game. We're going to move you over to London. You are going to give this city housing and amenities. You're going to come here, insert into that. I'm going to purchase another builder to keep feeding them from Newcastle into London. And then we'll just go to the next turn. seasteads are about to be done. The seasteads would be very nice for, like, you know, increasing the yields of my coastal cities, but I just, at this point, it's just not really necessary, I guess, would be a way to describe it.
Then you drive out where the
There we go. I'm going to unlock predictive systems because it's likely that the things are in here somewhere. Amphitheater. We're one turn away from launching the Exoplanet expedition, which is basically starting the countdown for our win condition. And we are going to create a new great person right there. Probably will be better to put a seastead here and here. So let's rip up that fishery and we'll go to the next turn. Fish right here and here. These 3 tiles. Whole bunch of missions just went off. I'm not going to be doing any more trading. So it looks like we caught another spy in our capital and we have started the countdown for our win condition. Excellent. So what we need to do now is to defend the capital, the spaceport. Just do that for 1 turn. Insert that in there. Seastead here. And just for the sake of a little bit of flavor, this next builder will go out and just place a few seasteads. You can see how big of a difference they actually make them. Like, here's like a normal tile and then here's the seastead. It's like really, really good. It's just a little bit sad that they come kind of late into the game where they don't really have an impact. So we are currently now on phase 5 of CO2, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. There's predictive systems. And where is the... there it is. Off-world mission. That is the tech that we are looking for the Lagrange laser and terrestrial laser station. So we can start pumping extra power into our thing. So we've got 2 turns here. Let's queue up 2 campus projects in the capital. Always just looking for more production in the capital. You, on the other hand, you're going to run up here and do a little bit of that. In fact, we could probably send off a few of these builders until we get the off-world mission. You're going to be teleported to the capital of London. And then you are going to continue to steal money just so we can continuously produce builders reliably. I'm actually a little bit amazed that I am making this much tourism. There's synthetic technocracy. Do we want to plug in synthetic technocracy? I think we do. So we'll come up over here, synthetic technocracy. Now we do lose our discount on faith purchase and we lose some of our special cards, but we open up our government to be a little bit more flexible. So for example, one that we would like to put in is rationalism for sure. Let's see. Democratic legacy for sure. Mercantile legacy for sure. We could probably make an argument that we don't need rationalism anymore at this point of the game. So the extra builder charges actually does a lot here. And so does civil prestige. Let's do it. I was ravaged by a natural disaster, apparently. Not sure which one. Apparently a hurricane. That I don't see. Alright. Near future governance. unit needs orders over here. Let's send these out to make a few more of these seasteads. There's a really good seastead right here, here, and here. 1, 2, 3. Not in an ideal configuration, but in a good enough configuration. Special session. I'll vote once on each of these. I don't really care that much, really. Maybe a little bit of extra free gold. A couple people voted against mine, actually. It's kind of surprising.
No, my friends.
Alright, Lagrange lasers.
Upon the earth.
Now a seastead here, okay, is an interesting idea, whereas I feel like it would be better to reinforce an already good tile. I could do seastead here, 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 and here, or I could do here, 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 and then just do windmills. This is technically better and more optimal, yeah. Let's just do future tech, claim a great person. Let's get rid of this campus research grants. We're going to queue up as many of these aluminum. We can do 2 of these aluminum ones. And we will instantaneously do one right now. So that's already launched. Now if we go into the science, we are gathering speed. We are at 2 light years per turn. We've already traveled 3. Make sure you're grabbing the highest production possible. Campus research grants. Let's make sure we queue up more of those. Let's make sure we're continuously purchasing builders also. Seastead here seems reasonable. Then one here, then one here maybe. We'll play around with it. We shall play around with it. They're all willing to give me gifts now because it's in the natural disaster thing. So gladly take the gifts. Gladly, gladly. Even if they are small and meager little gifts of a couple gold per turn. A little bit of extra gold never hurt nobody. Makes my score look better, I guess. Technically, maybe? What even affects your score? Era score, wonders, technology, empire.
A people without the knowledge of their
Okay, don't really care about that. Put this in here. Stock exchange completed down here. Let's just work a campus research until the end of the game. Archaeological museum. Make that broadcast center. You go here. Feed you into this. Purchase a builder. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Well, I'm sure Hurricane could like sweep through here and destroy all of this stuff. Another laser station. And now we are going to actually create another one of those laser stations. And continue siphoning funds. You're going to feed in there because every chunk of production we can feed into our sciencey boat thing. I feel good about. We'll put another seastead there. This is more just like, you know, optimizing my empire, making it look a little bit better and adding some themes. I could probably at this point get rid of the yield icons, since it doesn't really matter. Ooh, okay, lost a lot of fertility with that haboob. Although we are launching the laser station, so it doesn't really matter what happens to this planet anymore. We are getting the F out of here. So we have about 10 turns left at most, depending on how many of these we can pull off. Terrestrial laser station, yes please. No! Why would you stand there? That is like the worst possible place to stand. I guess that means this guy can go out and build things. Industrial zone logistics. Let's scroll to projects, queue up. Make sure you just keep doing those things. There's actually a better seastead here. I like this little pattern that we have emerging now of seasteads. Okay, I've been actually considering doing like a challenge next game. Like maybe a culture win with no theater squares. I think that could be really interesting. I would have to play someone like Rush. I'd have to play like a civ that has a strong culture. Or sorry, a strong religion game. I think it could be done, and I think it would be a really interesting game. Let me know what you guys think about that idea. But a no theater square culture victory. I think that could be very, very, very interesting. I think there's a few civs that could pull it off quite well. Okay, looks like they've Fecarino to Offerino. I don't know why you took that path. Like, in what universe was this the optimal path to get to this tile? Like, seriously? Go here and then here. Like, I don't know. Alright, teleport you to London. And you as well. Keep healing. Completely just wiped out this entire area again. I'm pretty sure I only just rebuilt this. Terrestrial laser station, excellent. Environmentalism. So we're now currently going at 5 light years per turn. So expected in 30 divided by 6, 7 turns until we win. If I can get another couple of these stations, it would speed it up just that little bit. I kind of missed the yield icons. Okay, just clicking randomly on certain things because it doesn't really matter. Queue up the campus research grants because we're just trying to get through the turns. We just need to minimize how many cities are giving us demands. I think we've made it very, 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 very well here into the late game. Lots of people, I mean, a culture victory isn't out of the question. Well, it is now that I've looked at the numbers. Never mind. There's no way anyone else is winning a culture victory. I'm actually amazed. We're making this much. And we're getting a 6.9% benefit from our alliance. Now, that's because we have a cultural alliance with the Cree that's level 3, which means we're gaining 10% of our allies' culture from cities and 20% of their tourism. We're getting 5% of our culture per turn from our allies. It's really interesting. I'm curious, what are the benefits are we getting from our allies? Well, your alliance is only level 1, but these guys should be level 3. Units start with a free promotion and 15% production when we're both at war, and 5 combat strength against units we're at war with together. This one is religious, non-allied religions, attack bonus, no pressure between us. Interesting. What about this one? It's only level 1, but it would have probably been something interesting eventually. Cool, free Eurekas. Very interesting. Choose a civic over here. We could do carbon recapture. Global warming mitigation, 15 production. 50% back, rock bands, spy units, diplomatic favor, tourism is reduced, cities with a spaceport gain +3, and aerospace contractors. Yeah, we'll just go for global warming mitigation. I've got 7 envoys to play around with here. We just like, oh my god. 56% culture from recruited great people. Antananarivo, you are so powerful. Holy crap. I want to save this guy for one more turn. There we go. Free gifts from the AI sounds good to me. Yes, please. Thank you. And I just want to point out, we won this game without ever once going to war or having war declared upon us. This is a pacifist run. This is the way I prefer to play. I like playing pacifist. I like beating the game this way and like trying to play an optimization game. That's very fun and engaging to me. So we're going to build a terrestrial laser station, and then we will launch it instantaneously. And then we'll immediately get to work on another one and insert a builder into it. So in terms of science victory, we are up to... it's got to be... There's no way we're only traveling 4 per turn. We've got to be up to like 8 at this point. We've launched so many stations. What? Come on now. Did they limit how much you can do this? There's no way that's accurate. It's got to be way more than 4 per turn. Yeah, it's like 8 per turn. So I'm just going to shift enter to end the game here at this point. I think we've been going for long enough. I think I've shown that I've optimized my way into winning the game, without ever really being under threat of losing. Oh, Russia spamming those rock bands. Just for the fun of it, we'll spam that. See how many diplomatic favor points we can, or diplomatic victory points we can also accumulate. Terrestrial laser station. All right, that's it for this turn, boys. 2 more turns, we win the game. I like how they send these like little baby chunks of stuff. It pains me to agree, but I must. Interesting. They all give the same amount, which is not much. Let me say that much.
Fetter this malefactor to the jagged rocks.
Actually, out of curiosity, how many diplomatic victory points do we have? We're up to 4. That's amazing. So this should be the win of the game. I might have to end the turn one more time to secure the win, but that's it. That's all she wrote. We won the game. I've actually never seen a fractional value for tourism before. That is a new one for me. Interesting.
Much as our ancestors did ages ago, we thrust forward into the unknown. The first pioneers set forth on an uneasy course. And yet once again did our people thrive. Now, under your leadership, we plot a new course and make another world our own.
Okay. That's it, boys and girls. That's all she wrote. That's the world in a nutshell. We can check out some of these stats here. Buildings constructed, fairly standard stuff. We start off really, really far behind, but then we catch up and become explosive. Cities captured had nothing to do with that. Districts constructed, very, very similar. We start off basically building near 0 districts, and then once we do start building them, we never stop building them. And to contrast that, there's no units constructed. Great people earned very, very similar. We start off earning almost none, and then as we reach the late game, we basically take them all. Pretty standard stuff. The AI essentially progresses linearly or semi-exponentially, but we progress extremely exponentially, which is, in my opinion, this kind of a curve shows that you're playing the game well. What you're trying to do is play from behind and then just win anyway. You kind of see, for the vast majority of the game, the AI was actually earning more science than me, but you can just optimize your empire to a certain point once you get to the late game, that you just like, the area that's contained within this is like equal to all of this. Player score as well, we start off really far behind, and then we make it all the way to the tip top. Wonders constructed is a different story because I don't really focus on wonders as a player. But I can definitely see that. Governor titles, that's not really a good metric for anything, really. Player gold, though, is always a fun one. I'm always interested in player faith, too. You can see, wow, some of these guys had crazy faith, whereas we had basically nothing. Player era score. Actually, we kind of kept pace. I feel like era score is a bit of an equalizer, but once we hit the late game, we were just running away. I'm actually quite surprised that Georgia doesn't have an average. I mean, it does over here, has a pretty above average era score gain, but it seems like it falls off and doesn't maintain pace. You would think with their particular bonus that they would have an advantage to that, but they really just don't seem to have one. Total religions founded. This fucking graph cracks me up every time. Every time. Number of combats is always an interesting one too. You can see who was fighting and when they were fighting. You can see, generally speaking, when two of the lines go up at the same time, these two players were at war. So you could see Lautaro and China were fighting pretty much all throughout the late game, actually, if you look at these graphs. Whereas I did the majority of my fighting really early against Barbs, and then I kind of went, and then basically didn't fight for the last half of the game. But yeah, we can go out and have a look at some of the metrics of our save. Something I always like to do is to go into screenshot mode and just have a look around. Oh, I've completely forgot to turn off the yield icons. Yield icons are here. That was the wrong one. And now we can zoom in. I think I can turn on the grid if you like that, but just look at this. I mean, I still think it's kind of silly that people say, oh, it looks like a mobile game. It's like, really? You think this looks like a mobile game? It looks great. I love looking. One of my favorite things to do at the end of the game is to like just look around my empire. There is a way to rotate the camera and stuff, and you can kind of just see. This is the empire, right? We settled over here near the volcanoes, and you know, I do wish there was a little bit more story. You can see the coastal defenses. That's really cool. I'm curious. We have like a massive coastally defended thing over here. This is like a fortress city right here on a peninsula. I mean, it's a little bit goofy, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, I think thematically it's like, it's fine. The Chocolate Hills. It looks like there's a giant cloud over the middle of my empire. Am I crazy? Everywhere else is like super bright, really bright, really bright. And then there's like cloudy. It's like so dark over here compared to over here. Is that because of the time of day thing? Hold on. Oh, this is also a really cool thing you can do. You can like set it to nighttime. This is still like not nighttime. And then go through and look at your empire and see it like at nighttime, which I think is really cool. I mostly play at like midday to make it easier to see for you guys. I wish there was a way to get rid of these borders. Yeah, but I mostly play at midday to make it easier for you guys to see what's going on. But you can see how like all the little buildings start to light up and stuff. I wish there was a button that would like slowly cycle through the time of day. You know what I mean? Let's go back. I like 12 p.m. because that's when the sun is like central and all the shadows are... Wait, these shadows moving? I think these shadows are moving. Am I crazy? These shadows look like they're moving. Even though I had animated time of day turned off. I swear to God, it looks like these shadows are moving. Dude, am I crazy? I think I'm crazy. Now I have to try and find the time of day that I like. Yeah, I like this one. 8 a.m. works for me. Nice and bright, nice and easy to view. Anyway, let me know how you guys feel about the switch to 1440p. Is the performance nice? How do you feel about the UI? I made the UI bigger for you guys who are on mobile. How do you feel about the policy screen? Would you like me to change this? How do you feel about me maybe doing some challenge games, like for example a tourism game with no theater squares, or a science win with no campuses, a military win with no unit promotions? You know, we could do all this sort of stuff to make the game more interesting for ourselves. So let me know what you guys think about that. Anyway, I love you all very, very much, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.